Shalom Aleichem, everyone. We're continuing Hachzeg's learning of the Pele Yoetz. Today is day number 96. A good Tevach, Shavua Tov, a new week. In our Limud over here, we're in the chapter of Beis HaMidrash of the house of study, the yeshiva, where a person is going to learn. V'toiv legever shal yimna rav tu mi'atzma. It's good for a person not to withhold the good from himself. Ve'al yimna atzma mi'beis HaMidrash afilu pamachas. Do not hold yourself back from going to the Beis HaMidrash even one time. You have a shir, you have a chavrusa, you have something to learn with, you're going to go on your own, whatever it might be. If you have a kavis, you have a time that you're supposed to be there and a class that you're supposed to be learning in, don't hold yourself back. Do not allow the Yetzer Hara to confound you and to pull you away with things that it tries to make you feel are pressing matters and important things and take you away from your learning. Because great is the power of learning Torah berabim when there's more people around. It's l'ratzon, it is the will of Hashem. It is pleasure to the Rebbeinu Shalom. And so too, learning Torah be'iyun in depth and pilpul with great intellectual prowess. Sheina Torah niknes ela bechabura. When you're learning, the Torah is really only acquired when you're learning bechabur, you're learning with other people. Learning by yourself, we'll see in a moment, you might accomplish quite a bit. But learning bechabura, when you're learning with other people, you're learning bechavrusa, with a study partner, you're learning with a whole group of people that are learning, you're going to achieve much more. Uksiv, like it says in Yirmiyahu Navi, Cherev el abadim. It says that the sword will be on those that are alone. V'amru Chazal, what does that mean? Cherev al saneim shel talmidei chachamim. It's a sword upon those that the enemies of talmidei chachamim. Sheyoishvim bad bebad va'iskim Torah. People that sit by themselves and they learn Torah. On your own, you will not be able to achieve and reach the levels that you want. You need at least a chavrusa, a study partner, at least a chabura. You could even a small group of people that are learning together. And not just that, you'll become foolish in your learning if you learn by yourself, because you have no one to talk it out with and discuss. Do I understand what it says in Gemara? Do I understand the Rashi? Do I understand this verse? I don't know. So you need someone to bounce the ideas off that you can work it out. Not just that, you'll end up coming to sin. Because you might think that you arrived at the proper conclusion in your learning, and now this is what the halacha wants you to do, but you're really wrong. And so you end up doing the wrong thing. You're a chayta, you're a sinner. Uksiv, and it says in Mishlei, Barzel ve'barzel yachad. Iron sharpens iron, which means when two Talmidei Chachamim, when they get together, they can sharpen themselves, they can sharpen their minds and their understanding, and that's the way to learn. Utanan, we learned in Pirkei Avos, HaTorah niknes b'pilpul chaverim. The Torah is acquired with pilpul chaverim when there are partners, when there are chavrusas, when there are people learning together, the give and take that goes on between a study partner and his friend. That's the way you acquire Torah in the right way. And this that we want to clarify the judgment clearly, you need a chabur, you need a group of people to do that. It says in the Gemara, the Rav Kiyasei Treifa Kamei, when someone would bring an animal that they thought was a treifa, which meant that it was not, there was some kind of a blemish, maybe in the lungs, something wrong with the animal, and that's why it could not be used to be eaten, because there's some kind of a blemish that invalidates it as an animal that's kosher. So Machnif Nechulu Tabachid the Mechayza. He was in the town of Mechayza, and he would gather all the butchers together, and he would show them the animal and let them decide. He would let the butchers come along and they would decide, is it a kosher animal or is it a treif animal? What is it? And he would say that way that everybody is going to have a little chip of the beam. What does that mean? Each one of us can work on together to be able to clarify for ourselves, what is this animal? Is it going to be something that you can eat? You cannot eat it. We get rid of it. We don't get rid of it. And therefore, you see that even the great sage Rava did not paskin, he did not decide things on his own. He got the butchers together because they were the experts in understanding this particular field. V'anan yasme de yasme. But we are the orphans of orphans. Manane basir. What are we going to answer? We're not so strong in our knowledge. We don't have so much understanding. We learn by ourselves. We don't have real chaburas. We don't have chavusas. What are we going to do? So therefore, all the more so, we have to make sure that we have people that we're learning with. At least make sure that you're learning properly according to the halacha. The Talmidei Chachamim that are learning, the people that you're learning with, you should complement each other in the learning. Not say, "Why are you doing such a nice job?" Meaning complement one another. I'll say, you'll say, we'll work it out together. Do not attack each other in halacha. Don't try to make the other person be wrong, as he's about to say. Don't say, you accept what I have to say. I'm right and you're wrong. And don't attach yourself to an area of halacha, which means maybe the particular case in front of you right now, you don't understand so well. So it reminds you of another case. You say, I remember that in that case over there, the halacha was like this. So you know what, we'll just say the halacha is the same thing over here. What if you're wrong? Why didn't you clarify and work on understanding this particular case in the right way? Rather, each person should say their opinion, their understanding once. In kiblu, if the other person accepts it, great. If not, what does it bother you? Somebody argues on you and holds that they're right instead of you. Don't work too hard to try to prove your friend wrong. Sometimes our ego gets in the way of our learning and we don't want to be wrong. And even though that we claim that we are searching for the emes, for the truth, we simply cannot hear what anybody else has to say, and we go out of our way to deflect and to disprove everything that the other person is saying. Says the Pele Yoetz, that's not the way to learn. Rather, a person has to have fear of Hashem and admit to the truth, and accept the truth, the true words of their friend. I'm sorry. You should accept the words of truth that were said by your friend. Don't be embarrassed if he's right and you're wrong. By a Talmid Chacham agreeing and admitting that that person is right and I'm wrong, that's the praise of Talmidei Chachamim. Since that I'm searching for the emes, I just want to know what the truth. What does Hashem want from me in this particular case? So therefore, I'm willing to admit that I'm wrong and that you are right. And in that way, Bez Hashem, that will be my ultimate praise. If there's such a tremendous obligation to have a real ava, a real love between us and our fellow Jews, all the more so, amongst those that are sitting and learning Torah together, you have to have even more love for one another. The Arizal writes, there has to be a strong love, a spiritual, soulful love. Like one body and one man, that's the way that it's supposed to be. We are plumbing the depths of Torah for the sake of understanding what HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants of us. We're stripping down our own our own ego and ourself to get to the bottom line of what the Torah is all about. And two people that are doing that, or a whole chabur, a group of people that are doing that, a yeshiva based middah that is doing that, it creates a tremendous connection, an inner connection between the people, and that ava, that love is very strong and very powerful. All the best.